What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on this Monday morning. For a lot of people, it's already match week again. We play on Saturday this time against Frosinone, but we will get into that obviously throughout the week. Also, maybe potentially what the Inter win against Lazio means. I think a lot of people know what that means. Still early, but they won. I think the gap is now 4 points. That's again, it's very early, but considering how Inter are playing and the quality they have, that's quite a lot already, in my opinion. But that's topics to talk about throughout the week. We're gonna talk about the transfer window because it's almost January, and we need help. We need help, and there is some news about Phillips now open to join. We have Vlahovic potentially leaving in January news. We have Junior, an update, and we have an update on ZIRKZEE. So before we get into it, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit that bell notification. And let's go. Okay, so it's almost transfer season. It's almost January, and like I said so many times, personally, no matter what the club tells you, no matter what everybody believes, pro Allegri and Allegri in, Allegri out, whatever, we need help. Allegri needs help. This team needs help. We know that. Like, quality-wise, the team is not. The starting 11 is not quality enough. Now imagine the backups or the bench players. So we need help. We 100% need help, and I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're in a situation that we just cannot go without anyone coming in because we lost two players mid-season, and one of those names is Phillips. It kind of got away a little bit lately, but now it's popping up again, and it's there big time. It's there with some good news or like good sources, but also it's consistent. And the news is from Marco Contiero, who is a good source. Like, he's okay, but it's not just him. Like, a lot of newspapers are picking it up now, even in England. And he's saying Juve is accelerating for Calvin Phillips. The player has approved the loan transfer. Now negotiations between Juve and City are underway to discuss the terms of the salary payment. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about him going to Newcastle because he wanted to showcase himself for Southgate, for the Euros. And that's still an option, obviously. But according to English reports, he is more open to a Juve move because he wants a change in scenery. He wants something completely new. Uh, I'll keep saying it. I have nothing against Phillips. I don't think he's a bad player. He's not world class. He's not, how do you want to say that, flashy whatsoever. Like, it's not that type of player. But I do like Phillips. I liked him at Leeds. He didn't have a good season last season because of the injury, and he didn't get back into the team. And Pep said you're kind of done here. So that's that. So that's a big question mark. Like, how will he show up if you join him? Because again, he hasn't really played football the last year. That's one. Two, he's not a player that say, like, he doesn't have the characteristics that we are desperately missing in this team, if that makes any sense. I think he will bolster the squad. If he plays him, I'm not sure. Will he bench McKennie in this situation? I'm not so certain about that. Like, would it be an upgrade on McKennie? Yes, because I think Phillips can do the same thing, but he's better on the ball. However, like I said, I was expecting something else. I'm expecting something else. I'm expecting somebody who offers a spark, and maybe he offers a spark in a different way, and not the way I'm thinking or imagining how a spark could be initiating. But I was thinking about more an attacking player, somebody who can bring the attackers more in play, who can create something, who can be a potential threat moving forward, going forward. But that's not really the case with Phillips, besides him being a very good player, in my opinion. So let's see how that will go. It's interesting because it's a free loan. That's the idea. It's a loan. You don't need to spend money, and we know what the situation of the club is. So let's keep an eye on Phillips. Let's see what will happen in the next couple of yeah, days, weeks. Now let's move on to another interesting news update from Zettelor Sport, saying that Juntuli is now open to listen for bids for Vlahovic even in January. Remember a couple of weeks ago when there was the news about Vlahovic, his new contract, and I said, you know what? It's not talent. We tried to move him on in January. We are trying to give him a new deal to spread the salary and the wages and whatever bonuses, you name it. That's why we were offering him a new deal. I said the club is very open to letting him go. Allegri is saying, I think, very open to part ways with him, which is very strange because he wanted him, although he knew it was not going to be a match made in heaven. I don't like the idea. I think we're giving up way too soon. That's one. Some might say it's not too soon, but like it sits wrong in my opinion. Like I said as well, if we sell, like I'm not one of those guys that will cry. Like I don't have the connection with anyone at the club. But in January, I don't think it's gonna happen because who are you gonna replace him with? Who's gonna spend that money? Like it's too much. So I don't think it's gonna happen in January. The report goes on saying, "Oh, we want Boniface. Everybody wants Boniface. We're not gonna get Boniface. We needed to get Boniface when he was playing in the Belgium league for Union, and he left for plus 20 million a bit. He's gonna cost you 50 million or something. We're not gonna get Boniface. The type of signings we need to make before these things happen. That's what we need to do. We were looking at Berardi for 30 million instead of Boniface for 30 million, less than 30 million. That's the difference. That's what needs to change. Now, that being said, I'll go back to it. Coaching is a big part of it. You know, if you look at Leverkusen and if you watch Boniface at Union, he fits that as a glove. Look at Wirtz. Big injury, like Chiesa, comes back and is popping again. And that's also coaching. Like players, they're not like good players are good, fine, and at one point they will make a difference. But if you put a bunch of good players or a few in the team, you cannot sit back as a fan or as a coach, or whatever, and just think, okay, now it's gonna click. You need to put certain players in certain positions. Now Boniface, obviously, everybody wants him. I want him. It's just not gonna happen. You need to sign Boniface before he becomes quote unquote Boniface. So that report kind of I don't think that's gonna happen in January. In the summer, yeah, no surprise. There will be no. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because we tried to do that this summer a couple of times. So let's see. We talked enough about Dusan. I don't want to do that in this daily news video. Now let's move on to Ealing Junior from Sport Italia, and they are quoting or like going off their English info they got on Junior, saying that English rumors are suggesting that De Zerbi's strong belief in Ealing Junior is convincing Brighton to spend the requested amount by Juve, which is 80 million euros. I made my peace with Junior leaving. I think it's the best for him and for us. And when I say for us is I don't want to see Junior play Mezzala the last 15 minutes of a game because it's not helping him and it's most definitely not helping us. As you can see, he's not a Mezzala. You play him, I don't know, not basically nothing for the last 2 months, and then you put him in a scrappy 50 minutes game as a Mezzala, and you have people saying, "Oh, that's why he's not playing." You know, that's happening in training, and I'm like, get out of here, leave, for your own sake and for our own sake, because if you're gonna play in those type of situations, it's not gonna help us. Like we're not gonna have anything good about you, in my opinion. That's that. Also, I don't know if he's gonna become a top player. I've seen enough to say, okay, he has something. He can turn into a player. But I've not seen enough to say, my God, we are making the biggest mistake in our history here. I cannot say that. I have a bad feeling about it, especially when I watch Kostic play, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. And yes, people throw at you, oh, but he's defensively good. I'm like, good, fine. But going forward, it's bad. It's really, really bad. It is. And why does it need to be this way or no way? That's why I'm saying, why can we not see how it could be with Ealing Jr.? in large parts of a game, you know, at home against a quote unquote bad side. Like what? Let's see what could happen. Linking up with Junior, with Chiesa, it could offer something completely different. Is he as good defensively? Probably not. Again, I cannot say definitely not because we've not seen enough. But I've seen enough from Kostic to say he's not offering enough. I think it's a shame. It's a shame, but I think it's very clear where this is heading. We need the money. It's plus Valenza. The club is gonna ship him. So I made me at peace with that. The last bit of news is ZIRKZEE from Tuttosport saying that we're keeping an eye on ZIRKZEE's development. Again, um, you can potentially get ZIRKZEE because he's not playing in the Bundesliga like Boniface, and he's not drawing that type of attention, if that makes sense. You're still going to spend 30 million if you want ZIRKZEE. He played in the Belgian league. He got the goals, but he had up and down moments, in my opinion. And then he had a moment where he actually kind of exploded. But he's one of those type of players that I think will fit with Allegri well. But you also need, because what I've seen from Belgium, he needs to be coached, or like he needs to be. He's still in development, and he's doing well. I get that. He will fit better than Vlahovic at Juve, like Boniface. I'm not going to dispute that. If Allegri is the coach, I'm 100% agreeing with that. I just think it's too early to talk about ZIRKZEE. You know, that's also a player Bologna absolutely not going to sell mid-season, no matter what the offer is. Look at what they're doing. They could go back to Europe in, I don't know how long it was. I'm not a Bologna fan, so I don't know. Probably quite a while, unless I'm blanking something out. They're not going to do that. So that's something potentially for the summer whatsoever. But then again, a lot depends on what will happen with the squad, who's going to leave, and all those things. I think the focus on January is potentially Phillips, not Højbjerg, and then let's see what other names will pop up. But I think that's the name the club will try to focus on first, because he is quote unquote free loan deal, and it's short term. And then you can see in January what you can in the summer what your plans are with him, or just in general with the team. So that's that. Let's see what will pop up in the next couple of days, weeks. This is it for this daily. I will try to be back live tonight. If not, then it's gonna be tomorrow. But like this one, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will be back, like I said, later today. Ciao.